Monkey Garage.
Thank you, Karina. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmasters. I made that one up. Today will be my icebreaker. That was ice. So today I'd like to tell you a little story of Grease Monkey Garage. And what it is just a few of the many cars that I've had in my lifetime. And I had many, Lauren. I didn't tell you that one. I've had many cars in my lifetime. And all of them have stood out to me in one way or other. But there are 4 cars in my life that really stood out, that kind of made me who I am, and who made me the racer and the driver that inspired me to this very day. The first car was a 1984 Porsche 944. Old school. We're talking 80s classic. This long front end. We have 4 cylinders cranking under the hood. Classic car. Very unique. Unfortunately, my dad gave it to me as a project car, and it wasn't really quite working. And as you know, when a guy says it's a project car, it's usually not going to get finished. Didn't get finished. Steering wheel didn't really work too well. Didn't really drive on its own. But it was something that I could say, it was mine. I had it. I got my hands around it. And to this very day, I'm still quite curious, because underneath the car had in big bold letters, Hot Wheels. Porsche was also made in China. That's why my dad gave it to me. I said, here, kid, have fun. And what I did was I took a pizza box, marker, made a little racetrack right on it, and drove around. One of the many cars I've had. The second car, it grew a little older. I wanted some American muscle. Everybody wants that little V8 power. So we got myself a 1998 Ford Mustang Cobra. If anyone doesn't know, it's got a lot of torque, a lot of power. It was also a project car. It was finished. It took a long time though. My dad and I made it as a project. We took it out, stripped it out from piece to piece, reassembled. It took several weeks. A lot of hard labor. I learned the true meaning of a lot of bad words that day. When things don't quite fit, you kind of have to make it. It was really a great car. A lot of folks loved it at that time. Unfortunately, my buddy drove it, and he slipped it, put it into a wall, destroyed everything on that front and side. It was a really, really bummer. I was really ticked. You know, there are worse words again. Luckily, fortunately, we came out unscathed because that was an RC car. Nobody was in it. A little upset, but I learned the hard meaning of having the project and knowing how it comes together and then how it fails. But having that goal just kept me going. The third car is a real car, all right? Enough of the suspense. My dad used to race cars. He built a 1971 BMW 2002. Now, I'm sure some of you folks are like, I don't remember that car. It doesn't ring a bell. But if you were to mentally imagine a 4-year-old, there's no marker. Imagine a 4-year-old drawing a car for their first time, and it's just this little square box, like a Tetris. That's exactly what it looked like. It was a square box. He built it. It was a real race car, had all the roll cage, had everything, and I was already coming up into getting into the auto scene, getting into knowing everything about cars. And I remember one day he said, I need your help moving the car. And luckily for me, I was the one who could get inside and play all the switches. And I remember that one nice Sunday morning where I flipped up the fan switch, ignition switch, oil pressure switch, and cranked that last red button that started that motor up. And I remember that one time I pressed that one button, and that completely changed my life. From that day on, when that motor cranked over, I said, I'm going to be a race car driver one day. And I've been following that dream ever since. Now, fast forward to 2003. The rest of them were all in the 90s, and mullets were all the rage. Some evil geniuses at Dodge, the car company, evil geniuses, they probably had a party and they're like, I have a great idea. Let's take an Econobox Dodge Neon, shove in there a race motor in there, and let all these tuner kids have fun. And that's what happened. 2004 came around, my dad picked up one of them Dodge SRT 4 Neons, got this body kit, got this rear spoiler, my neighbors hate me because the thing is so loud. I'm practically going deaf in 1 year. And it's been a real project car, project car, that my family has been involved with all this time. Since then, we've done everything from completely rebuilding suspension, engine, intake, you name it, it goes fast. However, one other cool aspect of it is I also race it. And I'm trying to follow that dream that I've set for myself ever since I first held that little Hot Wheels toy, ever since I had that RC car, ever since I first cranked up my dad's BMW. I knew I wanted to be that race car driver, and I'm trying to fill that dream. I'm putting that thing on track. It's happened before. It's been 6 years, and I've been doing autocrossing, which is a timed event where you're out on a parking lot. It's this massive lot, as far as the eye can see. Sometimes it's even an airport. And you have 1 minute, essentially, to go as fast as you can, one at a time. And it all goes down to that one perfect lap. You don't have to race wheel to wheel against anybody. You don't have to worry about crashing. You just have to be that one perfect driver with that one perfect car that happens to make it all mesh together. And I'm trying to follow that dream and continue it forward to be that one race car driver that I've always wanted to be since I was a little boy. And that is my Grease Monkey Garage. My dad's been calling me that ever since, Grease Monkey, and I'm going to continue that going forward.